name is Enrique Villanueva, and I live now in Silmar, California. I was born in Peru in the 70s, and from there I moved to the United States in the 90s, and I came to Florida. Then I was living with some family, relatives in the other coast, in the East Coast, and then I moved to California. I believe that if there is such a gift, we all have it. And I don't think I'm a gifted person or a special person in any way. I think that we all are invited at some point in life. We are invited to this experience, and we take the invitation, or we just give the back to it and continue our life. I don't think I'm a chosen person. I think I choose my path. At some point I was invited to the experience, and I search for it. I continue the investigation and the practicing, the being in contact with nature, and at some point I have the experience of getting close to another form of intelligence, and that's what happened. My father, his whole life he was interested in the paranormal phenomenon. He was an MD and medical doctor in Peru, a surgeon, and at some point in his life these paranormal experiences occurred to him. When he was a resident student, he got an astral projection that was spontaneous. Mm-hmm. And he became so intrigued by it that he had to consult with a psychiatrist in the hospital he was working in. And the psychiatrist mentioned that what he experienced was actually not a mental disorder, but something that was related to an expansion of consciousness, to using some kind of extrasensory perception. And this psychiatrist, it seems that he was a member of the Rosicrucian order. So he invited my dad into the practices of the Rosicrucians. And then he practiced with the Masons, the Freemasons, then he went for the Gnostics, and he was in many different groups practicing meditation and all the techniques he could get from them. When I was born, I had a lot of books about it, a whole library in my house full of materials about meditation and different practices. And he was always interested. He was not very open about it unless you question him. And it happened that when I was 12, I started having a spontaneous astral projection. So I thought maybe it's because of my years, maybe I'm changing, like people said, it happens at the teenage years. So I talked to my dad and I said, this is happening to me. And he told me that that didn't have anything to do with the teenage years, it was something else, and he told me his experience, and then he pointed the books and he said, you should start studying these things. So that was the way he guided me into this phenomenon.
Do you have in your family generations back someone with ability like this?
I know that from my father. From the side of my mom, they were interested more into the traditional medicine, the shamans of my country, and they were more curious about it, more than practicing it. But they were always close to people that were into the shamanism and the traditional medicine. Yeah.
So when you start practicing meditation, what was the first experience, if you remember, with that?
The first one in meditation. Meditation was around 12, 14 that I started. But really, really deep into meditation, probably around 16, because that was the time I went to the roof of my house and I meditate daily. And sometimes I started at 4 and I finish at 8 p.m., 9 p.m.
Why you choose the roof?
That was the highest place in my house. Actually, it was the 4th floor of my house. I used to sleep in the 3rd floor. And that was the most...
highest place.
Not the highest, but also the quietest place in my house. So I went to the roof and I stayed there. My dog was there sometimes, and I remember I could feel quiet there. And I had some experiences there. Once, I was really mad with my parents. They were arguing for some reason, and I was thinking that I didn't deserve to be in between them. And I remember thinking that I need to forgive them. But how can I forgive if I don't understand what forgiveness is? So I went to the roof and meditated. I remember I was there in meditation asking, what is forgiveness? And the sun was setting, and then in my mind I saw this being, like a beam of light coming into the roof, and then the beam of light transformed into an elder. And I was seeing all this thing in my mind.
Yeah.
And this elder was there, and he called me. So in my mind I saw that I was like looking at him like, what is going on? And because I didn't come, he approached me, and then he grabbed something in my head, and I felt like he was shaking, and then he pulled this branch that was really dry, old branch, like an old piece of a tree, and he pulled it from my head. And then he showed me the thing, and it has many dry leaves. And then he moved the branch, and all these dry leaves became the petals of flowers. And he started walking away from me and left this trail of petals. And then he called me again. So in my mind I saw that I stand up and I walked towards him, and as I was walking I stepped on the petals. And then when I got close to him, he asked me, now you understand what forgiveness is? And I said, yes. Because when I step on the petals, I sense the perfume coming from them. So that's forgiveness. It's giving the best when someone is destroying you.
To feel peace?
You feel at peace when you understand that you can give your best even in the worst conditions. So I was like one of those petals of the flowers in between my parents. They were harming each other, but still I have to give my best, right? That was one of the meditations that really woke me up to what I can get through meditation. So I keep practicing, yeah.
And what type of meditation you use? It's your way, or maybe something traditional, like Zen or...
I remember many methods as a teenage boy, reading about the Gnostics and then some Buddhist practices. But then I went for the easy, simple model of meditation. I remember I just looked for a place where I can be calm, with no interruptions, and then I searched for a position that was comfortable for me, normally with my spine straight, And I know in the Buddhism, especially in the Zen, they talk about the posture as enlightened in itself. But it was difficult for me at the time to do the classic yoga, the lotus flower.
Yeah.
I could do the half lotus maybe, and I did it. And I normally put my hands the right on top of the left and let the thumbs touch, and I remain in this pose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start closing my eyes and breathing in and out slowly, and I just focus on my breathing pattern. And as I focus in that, it becomes more gentle, more deep. And then I let my mind wander, just with thoughts coming in and out, and I don't attach to those thoughts. I just let them go, and then go, and then go. And at some point happened that all those thoughts that were in the surface, they just go away. And I can recognize a deeper current of thoughts. And it seems that they are always there, but we don't notice it. Only in meditation I can access that. And when I can see that inner current of thoughts, I notice those are not my thoughts, or not the normal thoughts, but they are the real thoughts behind this reality. And when I access that, that's really peaceful. That's being complete. Those thoughts are not like our regular thoughts. So I aim for that level of consciousness when I'm in meditation. And it's not that I get to that level every time I meditate, but if I keep practicing and I do it constantly, at some point I can reach that. And it's really enlightening.
How quickly now you go in deep meditation?
I guess because of all these years practicing, maybe I can reach that level, if I say with a counter, maybe in 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you're in that conscious of meditation or whatever, what kind of experiences you have? In the other interview with Paula, you mentioned that you see different worlds, or maybe I don't understand correctly. And beings coming around you from, or maybe you going to these different worlds.
Well, in the interview with Paula, I was talking about experiences I have, I think, in the astral projection, that's separating my body. That was not during meditation. And the other experiences with other beings, the physical encounter was not in meditation or in astral projection. It was with my physical body and their physical body. So maybe that happens as a consequence of my searching, my meditation through the years, the level of consciousness you can achieve when you calm yourself. But still, when I have those encounters, I was shaken, I was scared still.
So you're not was prepared first of all?
I don't think anything can prepare you for the real experience. It's like I can practice in my mind and reading manuals about how it's swimming, but unless I jump into the pool, I'm not going to know exactly how it is.
That's right.
But it was good to learn something before the time I jump into the pool, so it was great to practice and everything. But it did not prepare me exactly for the experience. Okay, like there are two different kinds of beings, and I'm not sure if they are different at this point. I know some people say they are coming from this, they are coming from that. I honestly don't know. At some point I used to think, okay, there are two different realms. In astral projection, maybe I'm meeting this kind of beings, and maybe physically I'm meeting this other kind. But the truth at this point is, I project myself, my consciousness can be in the astral realm as my consciousness can be in the physical world, and I am the same being. Maybe those two different realms are actually two expressions of one same being. So what I'm saying is, at this point, at my 46 years old, I don't see things the way I used to see it when I was 17. At 17, I have the experiences, and I separate things, and I thought, okay, there are masters in the in the astral realm, and there are these beings from other planets coming and visiting and having the exchange, a physical exchange. But at this point, I think if they are from other planets, they can do these astral projections just like me, and maybe even with more control than me. And I don't think they are separated. I think we see it separated because we have this tendency to fragment reality and separate things, because that ensures our survival. We need to understand things and fragment and analyze, but that's not what they are doing, it seems.
And they're from different worlds or from different dimensions or planets?
You see, dimensions, planets, worlds are our way of separating things in order to understand.
Okay.
And I thought at some point that they were from other planets, and that's what they were saying. They shared that they were coming from bases in our solar system, that they were originally from Orion, some of them, from Pleiades, some others, from Can Majoris, and many other locations in the space. But then, how can I be sure that they are telling me the truth? I was not in one of those star systems 4.2 light years away in one of those places. So how can I be sure? And I cannot be sure, because even if I have the vision that I'm traveling or whatever, there is no way I can have proof of it. So at this point, I think that maybe they are telling us stories that we can understand. It's like when a boy that is 3 years old asks their parents about sex, and the parents cannot explain in detail sex. He wouldn't understand. He's not in the age appropriate for understanding what is an orgasm or whatever. So they explain with flowers and bees and things that the little boy can really get into. So now the boy has this perception of sex related to plants and insects. Well, the same. We are in the time of our evolution where we search for life out there, outside our planet, and think about traveling long distances in space in order to find something or someone similar to us. And maybe they use that metaphor, that story in our mind, to let us understand where they are coming from. But not necessarily they are what we understand with our limited perception of a 3-year-old civilization. So when they say they are coming from another planet, I said, good, but I don't think so.
Just show respect.
Yes. I understand you tell me this because you need me to just calm down, settle my mind into some idea, but I know it's limited. In the Rama experience, the group of contact I participate between 1988 and 1990 as a trainee. I was being trained by them. All these stories about other planets and visits and bases in the solar system, you can find books about it, and many contactees are sharing about that. So there is no need for more of it. I think there is the need to understand that, and I was aiming to understand that for myself first. And now that I understand it, I express it. But not many people are delighted by this because they think that maybe I am deviating the current of studies. I'm sorry, I don't doubt that we are being visited by some beings from another planet. But I think most of the experiences I have and most of the sightings are not necessarily related to visits from extraterrestrials. Maybe it's something else that we just cannot comprehend yet.
Let's move this conversation for a little bit different point. I mean, not very different, but about all these light dots people see in the sky. And also, you mentioned that you saw a lot of them. So, what do you think are they?
When that happened?
What you think they are?
Okay. What I've seen, first, I've seen. At 7, I have a sighting with my friends outside my home. This light was flying on top of us, then it just ignited the lights, and the night became day for us. It was amazing.
So, it was a big light or small light?
It was small, and then it just blow, and then it was a day for a few seconds, and then the thing went away, and we were in night again. Then days later, we have another sighting, and we saw something that looked like a plate, and it was moving in different directions, very fast and then slow, and there were others there, and they mentioned that's a UFO.
And that happened in Peru?
In Peru, in Lima, I was 7, and that thing was seen by hundreds of thousands of people in different districts in Lima, the capital of Peru. And so all those witnesses and all these people talking about UFOs, that was the first time I heard the term. It was actually OVNI in Spanish, objeto volador no identificado, an unidentified flying object. And next day in the newspapers, all these articles about this sighting the whole city had. And my father bought those newspapers, and I remember him talking about it during breakfast, that maybe we were being visited and stuff. And I remember that conversation at 7, and I was intrigued. What were they? Are they real beings from another planet? Why are they visiting? Some people say about invasion and stuff. So those were the first times I have the information about these lights in the sky. Then around 12, I had another sighting that was not very, it didn't impact that much. It was a light in the sky. When I became a meditator, then from the roof of my house I could see the lights going like stars, moving sometimes in zigzags, sometimes they cross their paths in the sky. And I was thinking, that is not an airplane. What is that? I wasn't sure. And later, when I participated with the Rama group in Chilca Desert, I saw like huge balls of red light on top of us moving. Sometimes they project beams of light, like laser kind of light coming down. Some of those lights could stop in middle air, like they were coming down and they stopped before they touched the ground. And that manage of light was like something I couldn't see here with our technology. So I tend to think that's probably technology from another intelligence. Then once I saw this ship that looked like a triangular or maybe a boomerang-like ship. Huge, humongous thing. If I have to compare with our sizes, I would say 3-4 blocks of houses together in the sky. So huge that I could see from one side to another, and that thing was moving with no noise, and that freaked me out. That was like, it's impossible. Such a massive thing.
Something make you to worry?
Yes, because it's not natural.
Like a psych awareness?
It's like, if that is technology the way we know technology, that needs motors or something to suspend that massive thing in the sky. At least give me some vibration, something to hear, something that I can relate to, because that doesn't seem natural. But there was nothing. It was absolutely silent. And it has lights in all its structure. Mm-hmm. And in the background was the night sky full of stars. So if that thing remained without movement, it would easily camouflage with the background of the sky. But because it moved, I could see the shape around, because it was a dark structure with many spots of light on it. So it really freaked me out. And that level of technology, if that is technology, made me think twice about what is the level we are in. Then I saw ships doing movements that look like organic. Like sometimes they move like stretching and then collapsing, like they are moving
You mean like a plasma?
like plasma or even like an organic matter swimming in the space. So how are you inside a ship that moves like a plasma thing? So that doesn't make sense. And I cannot see myself in a physical body inside that kind of ships. So I don't think that's technology in the sense we understand technology. And I don't think those are visitors from another planet in the sense we understand what is living in another planet. I think that's something else that we don't get to understand yet. But yes, I have the sightings, I've seen the beings, and I
How
still...
they look?
Hmm?
How they look?
Different kind of beings. I've seen...
You mean face to face?
That's what you're asking, a face-to-face encounter.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one, he was probably 6'1", 6'2", tall, and his body was muscular, like a really strong guy, like a guy that goes to the gym all the time, or maybe a gymnast guy. And he was wearing this white robe. The material was like silk. The fabric was really
Light?
light, and it can easily draw the line of his body. His muscles in the area of the shoulders were really massive, and he was well proportionate, but the shoulders were too much, like a really strong guy. His face was very gentle and beautiful, but not necessarily in the sense of how humans see beauty, but it was definitely beautiful. And his eyes were big, but like a Mongol or a Chinese, but a little bigger. And his cheekbones were high, and his mandible, his chin was like a triangular. Not that much, but triangular. And his hair was falling to the level of the shoulders. And his hair was like white, like an old person, but he was younger, probably in his 30s. Yeah. And he was standing there.
How he show up?
I was trying to do the kind of communication we practice in Rama. It's a form of telepathy, instrumental telepathy. We take paper and pen, we open our minds and hearts to the communication, we extend an idea, I'm open to the exchange, and they, or that's what we know in Rama, they open the telepathic channel, and then you start listening or feeling, and then feel some kind of electric impulse in your arm, and then you start writing whatever you are receiving. That's what I was supposed to do that night. Actually, I was practicing for 3 nights in a row, trying the automatic writing. The first night, nothing happened. Second night, nothing happened. The third night, I thought, if it doesn't happen to me the third night, this is the end. Maybe I'm not the person that is supposed to receive this information. But I tried anyways. It was 11 p.m. in the living room of my house in Peru. And as I was waiting, I sensed some energy. Then I sensed the presence of someone in the living room. I turned around, there was no one. So I took the pen, closed my eyes, and then in my mind, I saw hands approaching from the back, and then some energy coming from the palms. That energy went through my skull with a buzzing sound. I could hear in my ears like zzz, zzz. And in the third buzzing sound, there was an explosion of light in my forehead, like a big white explosion, like. And I opened my eyes, and this guy was standing in the other side of the table. I was with this, and the guy was there. And that was the guy I just described to you. And I was scared, I was really shaky. I didn't know what was going to happen there. I wanted to go, and the silence was breaking me. I had to say something, so I opened my mouth and I said, "Are you gonna say something to me so I can write? What is gonna happen now?" And then he extended this energy that I couldn't see. It was a feeling of something coming from him and embracing me. And when he embraced me with this energy, my mind automatically took that information, that feeling, and that was a feeling of an elder or an older brother embracing me.
So his body still was there, but you feel that something is leaving the body, like energy and embracing you.
Yes, that was a feeling of energy embracing me, and that was a feeling of fraternal love, the love of a brother. And my mind immediately took that feeling and translated into little brother, like he was calling me little brother. And then he told me many other things, but in the same way, feelings were coming and were translated into my code of understanding, in this case Spanish. And he was not talking in Spanish, he was talking in feeling.
You mean you communicate telepathy with him or in Spanish?
What is telepathy? That's the
Something
real question.
Communications between the two
That's what they told you.
beings, maybe, or
That's what we learn here. But I think telepathy is not the communication of just ideas. I think it's
sense, kind of.
if you put ideas and emotions and feelings together, I don't know, maybe we can call that a thought, but it's a thought that is more complete. And that kind of thought is what they transmit with this embracing, with this energy that is giving you information in a way that you cannot doubt what they are telling you. When he told me little brother, it was not just the words in Spanish, hermanito or pequeño hermano. No, it was the feeling of a real brother that really loves